You're the owner of a small business, which means you're also the tech guy, and HR, and personal assistant, and head honcho, and intern. You could use another pair of hands, like the experts you'll find at Verizon Small Business Days, April 21st through 27th. Get a free tech check, special deals, and more. Call 1-800-483-4428 or visit verizon.com/smallbusiness to book your appointment. Verizon Business.
Reality radio for a really great future. We're talking real money.
It feels like all we do is sit around talking real money. Tom and I just live money. We talk about it and we live it. And we share the things we discover with you on our radio show and our podcast. This is one of the podcasts. I'm Don McDonald. Over there's Tom Cock. And today we've been considering the crazy investments out there, the nut stuff. You remember back in the 90s when people were buying up all these .coms and all these little companies they just were an idea. They had like an office space in San Francisco and a couple of desks and a chair and a computer, and they were going to make billions of dollars because they had all these eyeballs looking at them. And then you remember what happened to them? Oh, they had a puppet sometimes. They often had a puppet. You remember what happened to all of them in the late 90s? Well, yeah.
Well, there's one still around. Well, Amazon's
still around.
Worked. But pets.com,
yeah.
tom.com, none of those worked out. Sorry.
I still have donmcdonald.com.
Yeah. I've got
I don't have a website associated with it, but I own the domain name. I probably should get a website with that.
We're not making a lot of money from those endeavors is the point.
No, we're not. And recently, all the rage have been, we talked about these several months ago, these blank check funds. They're called SPACs. Not spats, but SPACs.
It's an acronym for Special Purpose All-Time Crap.
Is that what I wondered what it meant?
I looked it up. I was waiting to figure that out, but there you go.
It's actually special purpose acquisition companies, but he's right about And what's happened is a lot of really well-known people have sold their soul to the SPACs. They've attached their names to them. What does a SPAC do?
Well, okay, again, this is, in my view, this is how you go to public markets and get money from people without any due diligence. So if you want to do an initial public offering, it takes a lot of work. You got to put together a lot of paper. The SEC's got to look at all this. They got to decide if it's reasonable or they go in a quiet period. There's a lot that goes into that. This is a way easier way to go ahead and get you, the public, to invest. In fact, $70 billion has been raised in SPACs in 2 months this year. Half of that from individuals.
2 months?
2 months. 70 billion with a B. I mean, and so these are blank check is the exact right name, by the way. Blank check. So these are people that just go to market and say, I'm going to find a company that is going to make us a whole lot of money. Guess what? It probably is in technology too. That's going to do that. So give me your money. I'll find the company. I have 2 years to do it, and we'll all get rich. And it to me, it's insane. I mean, this is the next exotic hot thing, has been. This is the next thing for easy profits, right? And here's the part that I think people really love. This is my way into private equity. This is my way to be inside, Don, because all you ever tell me is boring, publicly traded mutual funds and exchange traded funds. This is sexy.
Yeah, we admit it. We're boring. I want to
be part of this.
Our ideas are just dull. They're dull. They're pedestrian. They're vanilla. There's no flavor. These are maybe flavorful because you've got all these famous names associated with them.
These have to be viewed as completely speculative, and they should be. These, at least with an initial public offering, you have a company that's been there for a while, but these have no track record at all. And the track record, as you know, of initial public offerings early on is generally poor. But blank check, when was the last time you just decided to give someone money with the hopes it was going to work out? I know there are mutual funds that do this too, by the way. they manage it one way today, and then tomorrow they wake up and say, well, that didn't work. We'll go a different direction. That's why we recommend index funds, because they hold a group of stocks today. They hold basically that same group of stocks tomorrow. I wouldn't touch these. And by the way, recently, if you've noticed, they've been the interest is held, but the pricing has gone down dramatically the last few weeks. There's some discussion that the bubble is popped, the party may be over, but this is not an area that you should be investing in any way, shape, or form, period. It is just a speculation.
If somebody knocked on your door, a neighbor, the neighbor in the nicest house in the neighborhood, you go, oh, wow, he's doing all right by himself. He knocked on your door and he goes, I want to go out and buy a company. And I need some extra money. I'm putting some of my own money into it, but I need a little extra money. I need an extra $100,000. So, hey, Joe, would you go ahead and give me $100,000? And you go, well, Bob, what are you going to buy? And Bob goes, I don't know. I'm just going to go buy something that looks good. Well, Bob, how will I make money? I don't know, but hey, look at me. I've done well in the past. I'm going to make a lot of money on this deal. Well, all right, here's $100,000. You wouldn't do that.
Yeah, by the way, it could be even somebody who hasn't necessarily had any, as you point out, business track record. This could be an athlete. It could be an actor. Yeah, it could be anyone who has name recognition that brings people in and says, oh, I really like that guy.
Yeah, this playing around, this is literally playing around. That's all you're doing. You're playing around with your money. You're not investing it. And we're not fans of playing with your hard-earned money. It's got a purpose, making your future better, right? 855-935-TALK. That is a phone number you can use 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to call us with questions, although, for some reason, we haven't gotten a lot of calls lately.
Did you pay the phone bill?
I did. I paid the phone bill.
Okay.
855-935-TALK. But we have gotten questions sent in by typing them at talkingrealmoney.com, or this is magical. You can just go in with your computer or your iPhone or whatever and record your question on our website at talkingrealmoney.com like this.
Hi, guys. My name's Jeff, and I have a question for you. Longtime listener all the way back to, I think it was like 2004 or 5 when you were doing a show with Paul Merriman I used to listen to when podcasting first came out. Anyways, my question is, anytime I've ever contributed to any of my tax-deferred accounts, like my 403B or my IRA or my HSA, I've always taken the tax savings on the amount that was deducted out of my paycheck or money that I had left over and put into an IRA or an HSA. I've always taken that tax savings and thrown that back in as a match because my school district I worked for didn't have a match for the 403b7. And so I kind of looked at it that way. My basic question is by doing that, have I basically equalized the benefit that people get by using after-tax dollars to fund a Roth? I did fund a Roth for a while, and then I bought a house in 2010, and I liquidated that to get the 20% down. I don't know if that was a good idea or not, but I did do that. So I just hear everybody talking about Roth, and I remember back in 98 when they came out, nobody even thought about them. So I just want to know if I'm ahead of the game by using the tax savings from doing the pre-tax contributions and rolling that back into the investments inside those accounts. Thank you for your time.
No one has ever asked that question before.
First time.
It's kind of an odd question.
First time in going back of Talk Radio 88. I've never had that question.
Yeah, I've never heard this. But to go, first of all, you're already ahead of the game because you saved something.
Right. And then you're saving
like
more. I mean, he's saving on top of the saving.
Saves nothing. But the fact that you're then taking, so what you're really saying is does it make sense to just pay the tax and then have a post-tax Roth, or does it make sense to save on the taxes and go ahead and put that money back into the pre-tax?
That's
the
saying.
question, right?
Yeah, that is the question. Wow, you distilled that nicely.
Well, I hope I'm right.
You must have been paying attention this time.
If it was my money, I'd do the Roth. But either way, I mean, so part one is how old he is. You got to. There's a few things around. I mean, do you have another 30 years of savings? Or is it another 10 years, right? I mean, because there can be some difference there.
I'm just going to play Solomon. Solomon.
Okay.
Here's what I would do. This is the easiest thing. You're getting the tax deduction for the contribution to your plans.
Yep.
And then you take that money that you would have paid in taxes, but you got the break, and you open a Roth IRA and you put it in that.
Sure. Why not?
Then you have best of both worlds.
And the fact is, when you get to the income part in retirement, it is nice to have the different buckets, right? A pre-tax, like IRA, 401k bucket, a post-tax Roth bucket. And
can we call them barrels? I hate the bucket thing.
Yeah,
barrels,
barrels.
Drawers, cubby holes.
Roll out the barrel. Kind of thing. I get it.
Bottles,
but the point
jars.
Is, separate accounts that way are great because then, according to your tax situation, which, again, having just recently looked at my own plan, taxes are very important consideration in all of this. And so, I think that would be either way be fine, but I like the Roth way better. Yeah,
I think that what you got then is you get the tax break now, but then at 72 and a half, you're going to have to start your RMDs and pay taxes on it. You'll
72.
72, not it used to be 70 and a half, and I'm sorry, misspoke. 72 even, 18 months after 70 and a half. And then you have the added benefit, though, of that Roth money that can just sit there. You don't have to touch it. Give it to heirs, all that stuff. Thanks for the question.
You sound like a saver, and you're going to be in great shape.
Oh, yeah. And that's another thing about saving pre-tax versus post-tax. People who save a lot, pre or post-tax, are often going to find that they saved so well and their money grew, particularly those who start early, that it grew to such a large amount that in the future, their tax situation is going to be far worse than they anticipated. They're going to really welcome those Roth assets that don't get taxed at all.
Yeah, you face a little bit of what we call the IRA tsunami, the required minimum distribution tsunami, right? You've been saving, and all of a sudden this wave is there. Now it's 72 that's going to say your tax rate goes from here to there. And by the way, for those charitably inclined, that's a way you could do a QCD or, a charitable gift in some ways that would reduce that burden. But we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Yeah.
Great job.
And
I'm happy for you.
If you need that kind of detailed help, trying to figure out if it's better to go to some sort of a charitable qualified plan of some sort, or if you should, take the pre-tax money or the post-tax money, or trying to get that plan for retirement like Tom has, you just want to kind of get started in the right direction. We're not going to manage your money for you for free, but we will help you.
Yeah, and this is the thing that we have offered, and it's been very popular. We're willing to give you an hour of a time with one of our advisors to look at your situation, to make sure that the plan works as where you are today and where you're trying to get to, and to help you avoid mistakes or fix mistakes. Sometimes people say, oh, I did this and this and this. What should I do? Here's how we fix that. And so, we do that, Don. You can go to vestory.com. You can set up an appointment there. It's 1 hour free time with an advisor, and there's no sales pitch.
None.
There's no obligation.
No cost.
That you're going to become a client. So we do this as part of it is thanking you for following our advice, and part of it is our stated goal is to educate as many people as we can to get all of this right. So we want you to get it right.
And lest you think we're totally altruistic, no. There's actually a little bit of hidden capitalism in all of this because we discovered something really interesting. And I think a few other companies have discovered this. If you treat people right when they're not paying you, they're likely to, when they need you, hire you because you treated them right, or tell their friends who bug them about financial advice, well, I don't have the skills. Go become a Vestory client. We found it actually works. It takes more time than selling somebody an indexed annuity.
It's karma marketing, Don, and it does work.
Yeah.
It does work.
Thank you all for being a part of the podcast. Thank you all for telling your friends, those of you who have. Those of you who haven't, and you know who you are, please tell somebody about the podcast. And if you get a chance, leave a review at Apple Podcasts, just not like the grumpy lady who left us. Can I read this? I'm going to read it.
It's your podcast. You can do what you like.
Well, it's yours too. I mean, okay. But I got my another grumpy.
What?
Yeah.
Another one?
Well, we've had 2 grumpy reviews, which ain't bad considering we've got
135 positive or something.
No, I think it's more than that now. Let me just look at the Apple Podcast thing here. We have. Come on, load.
While you're saying that,
we have 157 ratings. 157.
The number of you listening to the podcast has grown dramatically. So the more people we reach, there's going to be a few people that say, I don't think it's that interesting. So, I get it.
And this one is kind of like we've had somebody else say, you guys quit talking. Just quit having fun.
Not that funny.
Stop having fun. Stop it.
That's funny because everybody else says, I love that part of the program. Don't just get on and say, you need to own this, da-da-da-da-da. That's boring. I want you to have a little fun, a little levity, but okay.
All right. Well, here, I'm going to do this. The headline is annoying, which is what my wife says a lot. My husband,
too, by the way.
Annoying.
Yeah, I get it.
Ready? I'm going to read it to you. Okay. Annoying fake laughter and variation in voice. I did a variation in voice for her. Low signal to noise ratio. I think I know what that
implies. Somehow that the information is not good enough to sustain the signal or something.
Some useful nuggets of info, but there are many better financial podcasts.
Name one.
That's what I was going to say.
Then tell us, and we will decide. We will discern.
Okay, as the chief laugher on the program, Mr. McMahon.
Yeah.
Is any of that fake?
That's funny. No, it's me. First of all,
fake.
Come on, that's not fake. I wouldn't know how to do.
He's
fake
not that
laughter.
good an actor. He can't do fake.
Frankly, no. I don't think so. I could cry on demand.
Anyway,
but
thanks.
Not laugh.
Thanks, Eggy Gal. Eggy Gal. Her name's Eggy Gal. Eggy Gal. Thank you for your opinion.
On, as we say.
And thank goodness you're in the minority. Because another guy said, excellent advice and lessons learned each time I tune in.
Oh, that's nice.
Don and Tom are easy to listen to, and I think they give great advice. So 95% of the reviews are positive.
We appreciate it. We really do.
Thank you. We do. Thank you for being a part of the program. Again, spread the word. Take good care of yourselves. Talk to you again, probably tomorrow or really, really soon. I'm Don. That's Tom. We talk real money.
Talking real money. We hope you realize that the information provided on Talking Real Money is for educational and hopefully enjoyable purposes only. Providing personalized financial planning or investing advice takes time, so please consult with a really good fee-only fiduciary investment, tax, or legal advisor. We know a good one. Investing must always involve risk. In other words, you can and probably will lose money at times. Also, as much as you want it, no one can accurately, consistently predict the future. So past performance doesn't tell you a darn thing about what the future will bring. Unlike many other programs that say something similar, Talking Real Money is not trying to get you to buy or sell any financial products or securities. Instead, the program is provided as a public service by Vestry, a fee-only registered investment advisor. Thanks for listening, and please visit TalkingRealMoney.com for more information and disclosures. That should keep the lawyers happy.